Hi, I'm Chelsea Hewsome, your host of the Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and mom of two. And I'm so tired of women not feeling like they can show up as fully expressed versions of themselves. So here, we're all about that unapologetically, because honestly, we don't have time not to. Literally, because we're busy as F moms and entrepreneurs, but also figuratively, because we don't know how much time we have on this planet, and we want to make an impact now. But if we're doing this, we're making it real vibes only. So let's get inspired, laugh our asses off, quite possibly cry, and feel like you're sitting on the couch with your bestie and a glass of wine. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lip Service and Lashes. I am so glad you are here, you guys. Today, I have my friend Brittney Tollinchi. Brittney is a purpose warrior, transformational coach, and speaker who helps high-achieving professionals align their businesses and their lives with deeper purpose. After years of leading global teams in corporate, she followed the quiet whisper that told her there was more. Today, she empowers others to build purpose-driven businesses and lives marked by clarity, courage, and lasting impact. She's also the host of Unjuggle the Struggle podcast, where she shares honest conversations and practical tools to help others step into purpose-aligned living. Brittney, I'm so glad you're here.
Hey girl, I'm glad to be here.
Yes, thank you. So I have to say, we had been chatting on social media, had never met in person, and then we meet in person at the Powerhouse Women event in Phoenix, which has happened to me a lot. It's so weird that you meet someone from Colorado, like in a different state. But I love that that's how we met. You're like, wait, because you had is it Denver? Was it Denver Fire or PD?
Yes. Yeah.
Shirt,
So I had
and
on
I'm
a
like,
Denver
oh,
Fire
yeah.
shirt.
Yes,
Yep. Because
yes.
that's, so my husband's on with the department and
Yep.
walking around. You're like, hey, wait a second. And then I want to say even too, like I had listened to one of your podcasts and you had gone camping in Pueblo. And I was like, we were just in Pueblo.
Funny. Yeah. My camping horrors one. Yeah. I love Pueblo.
It's a special place.
Some spots are a little shady. Let's be honest. Well, yes. So I love that that's how we met. And of course, then I'm like, I need you on my podcast, and we still do need to hang out in real life. But I will say I have another friend. I met her, I think in California. She lives in Boulder. I've only seen her in Texas, Phoenix, California. We've literally never hung out in Colorado. We're like, this is stupid.
This is
like,
your thing.
Why? Yeah. I'm like, what is going on here? All right, girl. So jumping in, you went from leading global teams and you felt something was missing or something was more like, was there an exact moment you knew you couldn't ignore it anymore? Was there a huge thing that happened, or you just had enough, thinking about it for so long?
Yeah. So two things I would say happened. So the first thing was like the nudge became undeniable. So I was on my way to a conference from Denver to Kansas City. It was the first time I had been alone for 8 hours since becoming a wife, since becoming a mother, since accepting all of these promotions. And I had no idea how much weight I was actually carrying until it was just me by myself in a car for 8 hours. And girl, I spent the whole 8 hours bawling my eyes out in this emotional release that I didn't even know I needed. I thought I was fine. I thought I was happy. I didn't think anything of it, except I was sitting there and there was just this question that was repeating over and over and over again in my mind. And it was, what is this all for? What is this all for? There's no way that life can really just be about wake up, eat, work, sleep, repeat. There's no way. What is this all for? And the more that I demanded an answer, the more that Holy Spirit dropped right on in and was like, okay, you want an answer? Then let's do this.
I'm going to give you one and you might not like it.
Let's go. Yep. And so my answer was get out of the box. That I had done everything that I needed to do inside that box and I needed to get out of the box. And I knew my box was referring to my work. And I didn't like that answer. I didn't like that answer at all. I was like, ooh, I like the box. I'm good in the box. Box likes me. Like, I don't think so. What if we just do something different? And
Because
so
it's
I
safe
spent
too. It's safe
it's
in the
safe
box.
and
Yes.
it's comfortable in the
Yep.
box and
Yep.
everybody loves me in the box and I'm an expert in the box. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
And yet so then basically what I did for a year and a half is I negotiated with my maker, with myself, with my
Yeah.
soul. I mean, however you want to say it. And it was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just speak up more. Or maybe I'll just, I'll spend more time in the Bible. Or maybe I'll just journal more. And what I ended up doing, unbeknownst to me, was I was doing some deep inner work
Yeah.
over that year and a half. And I was doing things like instead of logging on at 6:30 in the morning, I would log on at 6:45 in the morning. Ooh, right? But those 15 minutes, I was just really intentional about asking myself questions like, what do I actually love about my life? What do I not love about my life? What do I like about my work? What do I not like about my work? Like every single day, it was just asking myself questions and just sitting in curiosity for those 15 minutes. And then I would go about my day.
I love
But
that.
what I didn't realize is that I would finally get to a point where I knew so deeply who I was, what I was doing was not aligned anymore. And so the moment where I actually was like, fine, obedient, surrender, I will drop my plan and pick up a better one was that week I had felt a stirring and it was just a couple different conversations. It is funny how it works, Chelsea, because it was a conversation was presented to me, one that I would have killed for early on in my career to take my team, my processes, and to implement them across the entire $5.6 billion enterprise. And I wanted nothing to do with the conversation. It was empty for me. It felt numb. It wasn't exciting. And I felt just a stirring in my belly that it was like, oh man, this is it, isn't it? Like this is going to be the moment.
I guess I'm
Now
here.
I am here. I am here. And so I did. I went up to my little spot of peace and I just did a quick little 15-minute walk and I came back and I can honestly tell you that the day that I gave my notice, I had no idea it was going to be the day that I gave my notice. And I just, in a full trust fall, I said I quit. And what I ended up doing was I realized now that over that year and a half, I had started quitting things that were no longer serving me.
I love
I
that.
had started quitting things like defining success in the way that everybody else had defined it. I had quit like comparing my life in ways that weren't meant for me, that I had outgrown. And so just those things that had no longer served me. And I realized that quitting isn't failure because that's what I thought it was, but that quitting is actually freedom. And what happened was the craziest thing. I quit with no plan, which is not recommended.
That's what I was
okay?
going to ask you. Like, you had nothing, like no
I
plan.
had nothing. I had no plan. And I think that that's not surprising for my personality. I'm an all in or all out kind of girl.
Yeah.
And so I just knew so deeply that there was going to be no space for me to explore whatever this other calling was on my life. There wasn't going to be any space for me to explore that if I was still giving 100% to a job that I loved, to a company I loved, to my team that I loved. And so that's how it all came about.
I love that. I love that. And I love that you took the year and a half to, really go through each piece of your life. What is serving me? What brings me energy? What do I love? What brings me joy? What doesn't? And get rid of it. Cause I've been doing that for a few years, but more and more in the last year, I'm like, this does not align and I'm not going to do it. And I don't care if like people get mad at me or if I don't care, whatever, but like, this is what my soul needs. And I love that you did the same thing, like slowly, like, okay. Because I think a lot of women, I don't know if a lot of women do that and really
I don't think
assess
we
every
do.
piece of your life.
I don't think we do. And I think there's logical reason for it. First off, I'll tell you, and I want to know your experience with this too. It was painful. It was so painful to like look myself in the mirror and to ask myself, well, what do I like about this relationship with this friend that I
Yeah.
have? Because
Yeah.
every single time I hang out with them, I feel obligated. I feel guilty. I feel
Yeah.
shame. I
Yeah.
do not feel like, this is filling up my cup. I feel like I'm just pouring out.
Yeah.
And then to sit there and go, oh crap, I've felt this for a long time, haven't I?
Yeah.
And what am I gonna do to change it? Or
Yeah.
am I just gonna ignore it? And like, no, it gets so uncomfortable, like to do
Yes,
that work. It's not
it is.
fun.
No, I hate, like, over the years will put off those uncomfortable conversations so bad. Or if I have to like fire someone, I'm like, physically, I'm ill. I'm like, I just get so worked up. I hate uncomfortable conversations, but you have to have them at some point. But it is hard to, like, with a friend or something, when you're like, this isn't a two-way thing. Or when I hang out with you, I don't feel like I can trust you, or you got me and I got you. You know what I mean? Like that deep trust. And you can
Yeah.
like go there and they're not gonna be like, girl, you're crazy. Be like, yeah, I am crazy, but I need a friend that knows I'm crazy and loves me.
Yeah. And
Right?
being willing to ask so many of those questions with every aspect of your life. Like,
Yes.
okay, so if I'm willing to ask this about my friendship, am I
Your
willing to ask
marriage.
this about my marriage? Am I willing to ask this about, am I being the parent that I want to
Yes,
be? Like, it's really tough work, but I do
it is.
believe that there's a reason that there's sayings out there like, diamonds are created in the fires, right? Or like, beauty really does, I mean, come from doing that kind of inner work, because there's so much. I will tell you, I still, the things that I've learned in a year and a half of entrepreneurship, I mean, I feel like I've lived about 20 lifetimes. I'll say that.
I get it. I get it. Yes.
And yet with, oh man, I'm so much happier with the person who's in the mirror.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that she is truly, I mean, I'm so joyful. I'm so just at peace in a way that I didn't even know was possible. Like there's this freedom that just blankets my life.
Hmm.
And it just feels like this breath of fresh air and this exhale. And like I really can show up in the capacity that I
Yeah.
want to for the rest of the world, because my life is so centered on all of those things, that
Yeah.
inner work. So that year and a half of really uncomfortable conversations with self,
Yeah. You're like,
they
oh God.
they were worth it, and I would
Yeah.
do it 1,000 times over again to be this person I am today.
I love that. And you just emulate like joy and energy. I love that. And I will say too, I don't I wonder your thoughts about this. Like, I agree about, I am more me now than I ever have been. And I something about, being my own boss, or yeah, I always say entrepreneurs are batshit crazy. We're freaking insane. Like,
No.
let's have everything we own on the line and I could, I mean, like, oh, I don't need a house or like whatever. If something goes wrong, it's insane and it never stops. But there's like, on the other side, there's more beauty, and like, my life is literally my life now. I like, it is what I make it, and I'm more joyful and fulfilled now. But I'm wondering, I mean, you can still find that if you work for someone else.
Yeah.
It's not just us that are entrepreneurs. What are your
Oh
thoughts on
yeah.
that?
Oh, 100%. I think that it's an aligned thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
aligned achievement. Like I think, I know a lot of the buzzwords out there right now is like, oh, achievement sucks, or achievement and pressure culture and blah 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 blah. But I really do. So I've got this community. We meet weekly, and it's for corporate women, and
Okay.
we're just unpacking the like what it's like to be a high achiever in corporate, because there are things that we want to sit there, and on one side we want to, oh, I'll just say it, we want to complain, oh, I have all this stuff on my desk. And at the same time, if we're really honest with ourselves, the high achievers that we are, we like
Yeah,
having
we
all
do.
this stuff on our desk. We like the control. We like
Yes,
feeling
we do.
dependable. We like feeling needed, like all of those things. So I don't think that achievement is a bad thing. I actually think that achievement, I've seen like there's so much beauty and fuel
Mhm.
in achievement as long as it's aligned. So I
Yeah.
think whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're in high level corporate roles, low level roles, like whatever, I think as long as it's serving you,
Yeah.
if it's, if you're working down at the local cookie shop and it serves you because you get to be around people, I
Yeah.
don't think that like titles we put way too much value and emphasis on titles in our
Totally.
society, and it just ain't it it just doesn't correlate.
No, because it's like what brings your soul joy? Or like, do
Mhm.
you love going to do whatever it is you do every day? And seriously, I've had over the years, I've been like, I'll be driving and I see a dog walker. I'm like, oh, I could totally quit and just be a dog walker. Or I'm like, oh, look at that guy mowing the lawn. That sounds pretty cool. Like random things that I'm like, huh, that's an option. That's an option if ever I needed one, right? But it's just like, it's, or something that doesn't maybe have all the pressure or, like all of that. There are other jobs too that you garden, and then you go home. It's not like you're thinking about worrying about your plants at home. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like a mindless, beautiful, joy giving job.
Yes.
They're out
Yes.
there.
Yeah, they're out there. I don't necessarily think it's as much about the work as it is things like how connected are you to the work? Is it
Yes.
serving you? Do you have boundaries in place in the other areas for your life that allow you to be present in your work as much as being present at home and being
Mhm,
present
mhm.
in your relationships? I think there's so much more to it than like what is your job?
Yeah, the concrete of what's your job. All right, well, I'm glad you brought that up too. So, I wanna talk your personal boundaries and habits. Like, what do you do to keep yourself at your best? Because mine have changed drastically in the last, like, 2 years. Like, they are iron freaking clad, and I love it. So, tell me about
Yes.
yours.
Oh, I love this. Okay. So I want to hear about yours too. Okay. So my habits, they have completely changed since July of this year.
Okay.
What happened? You see, what happened was, so I could feel that there was this next level in my business it was coming for me.
Mm,
And there was still some level of it. It felt like the Grand Canyon. It felt like this great vision was out there. It was approaching me. It was coming for me fast. And
mhm.
yet I couldn't jump across the canyon to get
Yeah.
there. And so I did what your corporate girl loves to do. And I sat down to do, okay, hey, it's time to do my H2 or my Q3 goals.
Yeah.
And every time I was like, okay, I'm going to get 5 clients. I just felt it in my body. It was like, nope.
Mm,
Or it'd be like, okay, that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to get 5 more speaking gigs. And it'd be like, nope.
really?
And
Wow.
every time I started just like trying to play with, "Hey, Lord, where do you want me? Like, if like I refuse to take anything other than aligned action. Been
Mhm.
there, done that. No thanks. I've seen how amazing and incredible and hyper speed like God moves in my life when I
Yeah.
align. And so it was like, Lord, where
Yes.
do you want me? And Chelsea, I will tell you, I have to figure out a different way to say this because I know it's not true, but it felt like Lord went quiet on me. It was
Really?
awful. And it was like,
Mm,
what is happening here? I've been
mm.
so obedient over the
Yeah.
last year. Like, am I not supposed to be here? Like, what am I supposed
Yeah,
to
what am
do?
I
And
supposed to be
so,
doing?
yeah, it was just quiet. And so I did the same thing. It's the craziest. I did the same thing that I did in that year and a half. And I started going, okay, I need to look inward. I
Mhm.
need to change my habits.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not the person who I need to be that is capable of carrying this vision, that is
Yeah.
capable of carrying what is obviously coming for me. So what am I going to do? And I had conversations with my husband and it was just like, okay, are we being the type of people that can really function and move our family inside a multi-million dollar business?
Yeah.
Are we really being like, are the people we hang out with, are they
Mhm.
serving us? Are we prioritizing our marriage? Are we prioritizing our parenting? Are we prioritizing like, are we? And so since July, I'm so proud of the work that I've done to create new habits because that's what it was. So now I am sweating every day, whatever that looks like. So sometimes I do my really hard workouts, and other times it is like your girl can just do a mile a day and that feels good. And I'm good with that.
You moved your
So
body somehow.
I
Yep.
move my body. I move my body every single day. I pray every single day. I use like the Bible app. And it's like, okay, Lord, what verse do we have today?
Yeah, I like
and
that.
I sit with it and I sit with it and I pray. And then I've got my sales activity that I'm doing every single day to keep my business moving forward, my marketing activity to keep my business moving forward. So I actually have a little habit. Look, I got a little habit tracker that sits on my desk right here. And I just am marking like, hey, what are my streaks? Like how many days in a row can I work out without missing a day?
Yeah.
How many days in a row can at 2:30 in the afternoon, can I pause and just reset before mama's got to go get her kids from carpool? So like there's rhythms and there's structure. And I had to get to a point where I was like, man, this feels so boring to be so rigid and to have such a structure. Like those words were so harsh to me. And I think to your point that you mentioned, it was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It takes making silly decisions out. Like perfect example. Okay, so before July, it was like sometimes I would brush my teeth right as I got out of bed, and sometimes I didn't want it to ruin my coffee. So I was doing it after my workout and after my coffee. And I got to a point where I was like, this is a silly like negotiation. Why am I spending brain power every single day on when am I going to brush my teeth? That's silly. Yeah. Let's remove this decision off the plate. I'm going to brush my teeth right as I get out of bed. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's
even if it ruins my coffee.
Boom. The first sip will have to be ruined. So that's the kind of stuff. Okay, your turn. What kind of routines do you have?
Well, I'll talk about mine, but I want to say I've read this many times and I can't remember where I just read it again last week, but like some of the most successful people and innovative people, not even just quote successful, but like innovative and like creative people, they wore the same thing every day. They ate the same thing every day. They have such specific routines that they never deviated from. And it is because that their brain doesn't have to think about that and have anxiety, feel like, what am I going to eat today? That allows them to then function in this other space, right? And use their energy for creativity and whatever they need. So I will say I really love working out in the morning. I get up not every day. I'd say I go to my gym, which is like lifting and cardio mix, probably 3 to 4 days a week. Nice. I used to ride the Peloton. I need to get back to it because I do love Cody. He's like the funniest instructor ever. He's so funny. But I really love starting my day that way in the morning because I'm not a night person anymore. I go to bed at 9. Sleep has become extremely important to me. I absolutely need my sleep, and I get very cranky when things like interfere with my sleep because it's just like I don't feel good. I do less. I don't just go out to random crap. I hardly go out anymore at all. I just go see the handful of friends that like are my ride or die. Like, I have a lot of acquaintances and people I love to see, but I just don't go spend my time like that anymore to do everything. And I don't go to a lot of meetings anymore because honestly, you get this, like Denver traffic's horrific. It's the worst. And I went to a meeting up north of Denver, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and it took an hour and a half to get there. I was there 2 hours, and then it took 2 hours home. And I told my husband, think how many hours in my day. And then I couldn't get my kid from school. It's just like, I don't want that. That's not my vibe right now. So I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'll go to meetings every so often, but I really hardly go to anything anymore just because I don't want, it doesn't align with me at all right now.
You're just choosing to be intentional with your precious time.
My time and energy. I'm like protecting it like crazy right now.
We should, and we have to, because that's how we're really going to be able to like squeeze this life, like the juice out of life that we really are meant for, that is really just waiting there for us. And I mean, even worst case scenario, if you do have to be in a car, like how are you using that time? Because I know so many folks that are just like, well, I'll just numb out to the radio. And if that's what you need, like to reset, cool beans, do that. But like, could you be reading that audiobook?
or listening to a podcast or something that inspires you, maybe. That's true. That makes the drive better when you're like, oh, okay, I'm listening to this great podcast. Yeah, you have to protect your time and energy more when you're stepping into bigger things because it requires more of you and the capacity. And you cannot function feeling burnt out, miserable, exhausted. Like I just can't, nobody can if you're really trying to do what we're meant to do in the world, right?
Yeah, we just cannot. I know for me, like the stuff, the sales activity I'm doing today, the marketing activity I'm doing today, if I'm honest with myself, there's no way I would have had the energy. I would have been coming from the right perspective, the right angle. There's no way that I would have been I would be this person approaching those kind of activities. I mean, Chelsea, I'm talking about crazy. The outreach that I'm doing every single week is bonkers. There's no way that the girl back in June would have had it in her to do the stuff that I'm doing today.
And I love that. Like the capacity. It's like and also you had said like when you're stepping to the next level, you will have to shed old layers of yourself and leave things and potentially people behind, not being a jerk, but like not everyone's coming with us on the next level. Not everything can come with us. And we do have to make those sacrifices and be like, well, what is required of me to be there? And you're like you said, God's not going to give you something until you're ready. And he probably, to make you ready, he's going to throw this at you and then throw that. And you're going to be like, what? Why? What's happening? Because you're not strong enough yet. You have to be able to get through that, right? To get to that next level. So. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, very much so.
All right.
Okay, so you said that you work out every day. What else is a part of your killer routine? You protecting your time and energy.
I hardly drink anymore. I do a little bit here and there, but not nearly, way less. Because honestly, it just doesn't make me feel good, and it affects my sleep, my energy, my mood, everything. I eat pretty healthy. Get outside in the sunshine. And it's like you said, it affects my mood. When I do these good habits, it affects my mood with my kids. I'm a better mother. I'm a better wife. I'm a better person. You know, who doesn't like when you're like, you know, when you wake up and you're like, damn, I feel good. Like I feel good. Like bring it on day. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah. I want to be hungover, and I ate like ridiculous, greasy, horrible food yesterday all day. And I just feel like crap, and I just want to take a nap, and I didn't sleep. I'm like, no, can't. That's gone. That. Yeah. All right, girl. I love that you have a podcast. So I want you to talk about your podcast. And then I know you have a really cool YouTube thing too. So I want to hear about that.
I do. All right. Okay. So the Unjuggle the Struggle podcast.
I love that name.
It was really part of just what happened in my season of Yes. So I quit the job. Okay. Then 30 days later, I have a book deal. What crazy.
That's
a few months after that, I have an opportunity. Someone approached me about doing a podcast. I had literally listened to less than 5 podcasts before I started my own. And it was just because it was like, okay, yes, if this is what it's going to be, yes is my answer. And so on Unjuggle the Struggle, I just show up every single week, and whatever struggle bus I'm on, or whatever struggle bus my guests happen to be on, or sometimes we are in front of said struggle bus, right? That happens too.
Yep.
We're just talking about unjuggling it. And it's just been this beautiful place that has really unintentionally like documented this journey of entrepreneurship and the sitting with things like self-doubt and talking with other entrepreneurs about imposter syndrome, or just all of these, like what comes mentally and emotionally with building a business. And that's what's unpacked with being the mom I want to be, with being the wife I want to be. That's what's unpacked every single week. So would love to have you on the podcast. Okay. And we'll talk about something that you're unjuggling. And then we always talk about something that you have unjuggled.
I love
so that listeners are always getting like some solid takeaways, because that's really important to me too.
For sure, for sure. I love that. It's very similar to mine. I'm like, well, today I feel like talking about this because I'm riled up. Or, you know what I mean? I think people need that. You know what I mean? And then this episode might hit for them today, but that one's, you know what I mean, for this person, and that one's really going to hit tomorrow. Like I've had people be like,
Yeah.
I was just in my car crying listening to your podcast and I'm going through the same thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm happy that you don't feel alone. You know,
It's
it's so
it's been
powerful.
It's been crazy. It's been powerful. It's been it's just like this gift that keeps giving over and over
Mhm.
again. For instance, it has opened up my world to people like you. I mean,
Mhm.
getting to have these conversations. Like,
Yeah, it's
without that
amazing.
podcast, it wouldn't have unfolded this way. And I'm so
Yeah,
grateful for that.
I love that. I love that. All right, well, tell everyone about your free YouTube series because that sounds so awesome.
This was crazy. So in that season, really of July and August, where I'm sitting there and I am all in my own stuff again, like,
Mhm.
Lord, where are you? What habits? Who do I need to become to hold space for whatever is coming to me? And I released a podcast past episode with one of my dear friends. And in that, she had asked me, she was like, B, I just don't understand. Like, how do you go from feeling called to actually being able to take the leap?
I love
And
that.
the second that she asked me that, everything in my body was like, well, I can tell you how. And I wrote it down. And before I knew it, I was looking at a 4-part video series. They're literally less than 10 minutes each.
I love
And
that.
it is the overview of like how you actually go from feeling called and like this nudge on your life. Because I talk to people every single day that are like, oh, I've always wanted to start my business. It's been 10 years and I just
Yeah,
can't do it. And you're like, yeah,
you actually
let me
can. I'm
help
going to help you.
you.
Yeah,
Let me help you. So yeah,
yeah,
it's on YouTube. It's a free series. Like I said, there's 4 videos. It's called The Call. So how do
cool.
you go from call to actually taking that leap?
Love it.
And it is, I really, it's so powerful. The feedback that I'm getting on it is like, I needed this years ago, and it's beautiful. And I know it's exactly where it's supposed to be. And the message is out there, and whoever it is for, they're going to find it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw that. I was like, that sounds amazing. So I will link all of that in the show notes and all your stuff too. But like, that's so exciting because I think there are a lot of people that I also have a lot of friends that are maybe they used to work and then they've been staying home with their kids, and it's kind of coming the time like they may go back to work, but
Mm.
it's a lot of it is, or people want to change a career or whatever, but there's so much of like sitting in that middle of just unsureness. I don't know if that's a word. I'm making that up, but
Yep. Is
when you're just
today.
like, I know there's something, but I don't know what it is. And like you said, doing that work, you can't,
Yep.
it's not what you're meant to do is not going to come unless you do that work and sit in the not fun times, to work through it. And I think this series is just perfect for that too. And your podcast and your book. Oh,
Thank you.
girl.
Thank you. All
Well,
the things.
yes, I'm so grateful for you. And literally, when I see you on social media, you just, like I said, you just have this energy about you. And like, that's amazing. You can just feel the warmth and like genuineness from you. So keep it up. You're doing amazing things. Ah,
Let's
let's just
go.
go together, girl. Grab hands and let's go. So,
I love it. I
however,
love it.
how can everyone support you and where can listeners find you?
Yep. So on Instagram, I'm really active there. Brittney Tollinchi, that's Brittney, and then Tollinchi, Tollinchi. Also really active on LinkedIn. That's where probably most of my network is. So between those 2 platforms, and then also have that YouTube channel and the podcast. So it'll all be in the show notes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much today. I really, really appreciate this. I was so looking forward to this conversation.
Chelsea, thank you. Thank you for having this podcast. I have a deep appreciation for what it means to show up and to put these episodes out here. And the way that you do, you're creating this platform, you're creating this space for people to come and to be poured into. And the
Thank
ripple
you.
effect of that is amazing. You are a miracle.
Thank
And thank
you.
you for just showing up.
You're so sweet. I appreciate you.
Well,
All
I
right,
appreciate you, Chelsea.
everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Give Brittney a follow. Go find out what she's doing. She's doing awesome stuff. So thank you again. And always remember, no BS, just real vibes. We'll see you next time on Lip Service and Lashes. Bye.
Bye.
If you loved the episode, share it on Instagram and tag me so I can say thank you and meet you, or share it with a girlfriend who you know would love this too. Always remember, no BS, just real vibes. See you next time on Lip Service and Lashes.